What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over some tips to hopefully help you stop losing to the Magneto item in Fortnite, or at least lose to it less. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below what you think of the Magneto item and what has helped you play against it most. Before we get into anything, I'm just going to say this item is rough to deal with. It's very fluky in the sense, or like flippy in the sense that like your game can be going very well, and then you get hit by this once and it might just be GG's because it hits very hard, and it also kind of like knocks your character around or messes up your movement, and that makes it easier for the Magneto player to just keep hitting you once they've hit you once. So it's like, I get that it can be rough. One of the worst places that you can be when someone is using this on you is just on the ground with them above you, because the attack functions as like an AoE or an area of effect, and anytime you have an area of effect weapon in a video game or any shooter, it's best when like the person is above just shooting down, because all they have to do is hit the ground near you. Like, think of it like an explosive. That's basically how this works. So if the Magneto player is up in the air just shooting down on you, that is what they would want most, and that's what you want to avoid most. I think if that situation is happening, you're just going to probably want to use gloves or use some mobility and get out of there. And so much of how I'm going to play against the Magneto item will depend on what the player's HP is like. If I beam them, like let's say we get like 100 opening damage and then they pull this out, I'm probably going to play a bit differently than if I've done nothing to them and they're already just trying to spam me with the Magneto. If they're full HP and I've done nothing to them and they're already like getting ready to use it on me, I'm probably just going to want to try to get out of there and escape. Again, using mobility is essential for dealing with this item. The Nitro Gauntlets, Shockwaves, whatever you can get. But ideally, you would want to have Nitro Gauntlets and hopefully like the Nitro Medallion as well for unlimited sprint. If you already have them weak though, like let's say you hit them 100, they pull this out, at that point, I might just want to glove onto them and try to just like finish them close range with the Gatekeeper shotgun. Because if you do get up close and just kind of go all in with the shotgun, you should win that damage race if you already have them weak. Because like how this item works, from my experience, is that the first shot the Magneto player shoots has like the slowest kind of like animation. Once they get it going and they're throwing out shot after shot after shot, it feels like the animation isn't as like big of a deal, but that first shot is everything. So if I get someone weak and I know they're using this, I'm probably just going to want to get on them and go on them with the shotgun. If they go up, one thing you can do is just kind of like glove up yourself and then shoot down on them from the sky. This kind of works great with a Thunderburst because it has perfectly accurate hipfire. But again, this isn't something I would want to do if they're full health. I'm not going to 250 to 0 somebody just hipfiring them out of the sky with the Thunderburst unless I get incredibly lucky. But like, if I already have damage on them and then they go up and try to rain the Magneto down, I might go up and just try to like Thunderburst them from the sky, you know? Everything really depends on like how much damage I've done to the person and what I expect their health to be like. Also, I don't know if this is a bug or not, or if it's intentional, but I've seen a lot of players that I'm fighting against that are just kind of like glowing purple, even when they don't have the Magneto item out. So I don't know if they're just always glowing purple if they have it in their inventory, or if it's bugged because, you know, Fortnite is Fortnite. But like, I have seen players glowing purple when they don't have it out, and that kind of signals to me they have it and they're probably going to want to use it at some point. So if I have them weak, I might just jump on them with the shotgun. If they go up and I have them weak, I'm probably just going to want to like go up with my gloves and try to shoot them while I'm in the sky with the Thunderburst, because when you're both in the sky, it's hard for the Magneto player to hit you. Like I said, the best case scenario for them is they can just hit the ground next to you and hit that splash. But if they're full health, I just probably want to get out of there and reset the fight and try to get better timing later on. It does only have 5 shots and they come back over time. I believe it's 8 seconds per shot. So if I'm in an extended fight with someone, taking advantage of timing where like they may be low on shots after spamming it is nice. This is really going to be true if you're third partying a situation. If you're third partying a fight and you just saw this person shoot like 3 Magneto shots rapidly on somebody and then they're going to get that loot, that might be another situation where like I'm trying to just like pounce on them and get them out of the game as fast as possible with my shotgun, because one, they might have just been weak from like fighting, but also two, their Magneto item is likely going to be on cooldown to an extent because of the fact that they were just spamming it. 8 seconds per shot isn't like the slowest cooldown ever, but it's slow enough to the point where like you can punish somebody and take advantage if they throw out shots at you and miss, or if you just saw them fight another person with it. I think being near cover is also really nice for dealing with this item, but it really comes down to like the elevation, because if they're in the sky shooting down on you, they're probably just going to shoot the ground next to your cover. But I've had times where like I'm on a rooftop on an island and then the Magneto item just collides with the roof of the island. Or even this clip here, this metal pole blocked the Magneto rock from hitting me. Like, I don't know what it is about the rocks that the Magneto item throws out, but like it feels like the hitbox of them is larger than the rock itself, so like it can get stuck on things in ways that the Magneto player doesn't expect. So anytime you can fight this person from some sort of cover, that would also be ideal. But this is, again, it can really go either way. It seems kind of like fluky when it just gets blocked randomly by the cover, but it is nice when it works out for you. One effect of this item is the shield, and it can block 400 damage when they do the shield. And so you might see that and think, okay, I'll just spray the shield out and then it'll break their block, kind of stun them, and then I'll start spraying the person then. And that can work, but what you want to avoid is like spraying out their block, maybe getting a few shots on them, and then like immediately needing to reload your gun. You know, like if you're using the Thunderburst or the Combat AR, you can break the block relatively quickly, but you're not going to have the most ammo left afterwards, and then you're probably just ending up in a damage trade fight where you're spraying them, they're going to start spamming you with the rocks, and then maybe you run out of ammo, maybe you get the elimination before they get you. It's just like a very random fight, I feel like. So again, I wouldn't want to just commit to spraying the block out on somebody who I know is full health. If I damage them a bit and then they start doing the block, like sure, I might just start spraying the block out and know that like once I break their block, that's probably going to be an elimination, or at least like very close to an elimination. Again, just trying to 250 to 0, spraying their block out is not ideal. If they're doing the block in close range, I do kind of want to like slide to the side behind them or maybe jump over them and hit them with some shotgun shots. But you need to be cautious of this at all times, though, or like cautious of going for this, I think, because a lot of the times they're going to go for the block to bait you into overspraying your weapon or bait you into like exposing yourself for the potential attack. Just know that they're probably going to go for the attack at some point when they are doing the block, unless you just already have them on the back foot and they're doing it out of panic. There is some interesting items as far as like how they interact with the Magneto gloves. Shield bubbles, for some reason, do not block the rock. If you're in a shield bubble and the Magneto player throws it at you, for some reason it hits through the shield bubble and knocks you out of the shield bubble. I don't know if this is intentional or a bug, because again, we're playing Fortnite. Who knows? But just carrying shield bubbles, thinking this is going to directly counter any Magneto item, does not work as of the time I'm recording this video. And Epic are on break, so I don't expect it to get patched anytime soon. EMPs will hit the blocking player, and this could be a potential play to go for if somebody's just like holding the block. But you don't want to be in a situation where they're blocking. You kind of slowly switch to your EMPs, throw two, and then they just start spamming you with the Magneto item, like while you're swapping weapons and throwing them, you know? So keep it in mind, but it's something that can work. Regular attacks with the Nitro gauntlets will not break the shield, but uppercuts will. If somebody's close to you and doing the block, you can just kind of uppercut them and then maybe start spraying them. This will kind of knock them back a little bit as well. And then the ground pound can also work if you hit the ground behind or to the side of their block enough, but like hitting them head on with the ground pound won't work. But again, the ground pound does area of effect damage, so if you can make that area of effect happen behind the person or to the side of them, you can get damage on them that way. And this can be a decent way to like close the damage on somebody. Like I talked earlier about like maybe you get 100 damage on them, they might start blocking, then you can go like push them with your gloves, hit the ground pound, get some damage on them, and then swap to your shotgun and just start shotgunning them. And then hopefully you win out on that damage race before they start, you know, spamming you with the Magneto item. The bow is the same way. If you hit someone head on or directly in front of the block, you will not get damage. But if you hit enough to the side or to behind the block, then you will get damage. So if you have someone playing the block, try to shoot to the side or behind them to the point where you get that splash damage rather than just aiming directly for the block. Also, getting in a car can potentially work to stop yourself from taking damage versus this item. But the Magneto item can also hit through the car depending on where the metal lands. So you may end up taking damage anyways. But depending on the angle of the car and how the person throws it, then like hitting some shots, getting in a car as the rock is about to hit you, can be something to potentially block that damage. I think having the dashes from the green water in the underworld biome can also be something that's really helpful for dealing with this. not only can you use it to potentially dodge some metal when it's thrown at you, but you can use it to like get behind someone or to the side of their block, or just push them after you get early damage. So like most things in the game, I feel like having the green water dashes really helps. And then another huge aspect of dealing with this item, and this is just a good thing to have forever in Fortnite, is just be very aware of your surroundings. When you're fighting people, getting third-partied by the Magneto item would be very detrimental because of how much damage it can do and how weird it is to play against in terms of it kind of like throwing your character around and impairing your movement. So if you're fighting for a while, try not to get too tunnel visioned on that fight. Be aware that you're likely to get third partied. And a lot of times just that mindset of knowing that like, hey, I'm probably going to get third partied here. We're fighting in a high traffic area, will hopefully result in you getting third partied less. And kind of like I just said, like this is a rough item to do. Like getting third partied always sucks, but getting third partied by an item that doesn't make much noise, hits you for basically 100 and knocks your character around is just not great. And then one final thing I want to say, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about at the start of the video, is that like the ideal situation for Magneto is you're on the ground, they're above you, just hurling rocks. And a lot of people will kind of see this situation playing out and think, oh, they're exposed in the sky, let me just AR them to death. And that can work if you already have them weak. Trying to 250 to 0 a Magneto player out of the sky, like, and when I say 250 to 0, I mean they're at 250 health. So you have to make them go all the way to 0 from 250. It's not likely to work out for you. It can, in the same way that like the Kamehameha or the Deku Smash items, if you saw someone going for it, you could just spray them out of the air and maybe get the kill beforehand. But you're opting into a situation where like the game is going to be decided on that. Either you eliminate them before they eliminate you, or they eliminate you before you eliminate them. And either way, the person who wins the fight is probably relatively weak. So unless the person is already weak beforehand, I wouldn't want to just opt into that damage race with my spray weapon, unless you're someone who's just very, very confident in your aim. But I've seen with a lot of these items like this, people like don't have the best aim, or they either maybe they do, but they just consistently opt into those trades. And then they lose it about, you know, maybe half the time, and then they're just complaining about how like terrible the item is. And it is a frustrating item. I'd rather not have it in the game, but if you're opting into situations where it's at its best, part of the blame is on you, you know? But that is going to be it for this video. I hope this was helpful, informative, interesting. As always, if it was, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more. Comment down below what you think of this item and what has helped you play against it most. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.